Why do we walk? We walk to survive. We walk to discover. We walk to think. We walk to create. We walk to find meaning. And sometimes we walk to find ourselves. Or we walk to run away from ourselves. What if your entire culture was built on walking, not by choice, but by necessity? No country, no homeland, just footsteps in the dust. And a melody so powerful it unites 12 million people across 30 countries. A melody so profound it becomes their anthem. An anthem that defies all of the national anthem stereotypes. An anthem that was never connected to a land or country, but to a people, the Romani people. This is the Anthem of No Land, a story of identity, survival, and the power of melody.
I am Kemal Oksal, professor at Berklee College of Music. For over 20 years, I've worked as a music producer, conductor, and educator, leading orchestras, producing albums, and mentoring young artists. Now, I invite you to discover the stories that shape what we hear. Each week I open the words behind the music, and whether you are a musician or not, you are invited. So, let's get started.
First, who are the Romani people? Romani people, often called Gypsies, originated in northern India and they migrated through Persia, Byzantium, Ottoman Empire and across all of Europe. They've been walking for over 1,500 years. Always walking, always outsiders, always carrying something more powerful than passports. Their music. Even though music became their true homeland for centuries, they had no land to call their own. But they have an anthem. The Romani Anthem, Djelem, Djelem, was not written from scratch. It was born from a fusion of tradition and tragedy. The words of the anthem carry the history, but the melody carries the soul. The lyrics were written by Žarko Jovanović, a Serbian Romani musician, poet, and a Holocaust survivor. Jovanović had walked through 3 concentration camps during World War II, witnessing firsthand the persecution of his people. He lost his family, he lost his home, but he never lost his voice. In the aftermath of the war, Jovanović traveled across Europe, collecting stories from fellow Romani survivors. Inspired by an old Romani folk melody, Jovanović merged past and present. His lyrics transformed a beautiful melody into an anthem of survival. The haunting tune of Gelem Gelem was already deeply included in Romani culture. It passed down through generations, like the people themselves. It had traveled across borders and centuries, adapting but never disappearing. Jovanović's lyrics gave the song a new purpose. He didn't write about the victory, but he wrote about movement. And of course, as expected, Djelem Djelem means I walked, a reflection of the endless exile of the Romani people. A song of pain, but also of pride. An anthem that did not ask for permission to exist. In 1971, at the First World Romani Congress in London, this song was chosen as the official Romani national anthem. From that moment on, Djelem Djelem was no longer just a song, it was a declaration. A sound that belonged to no land but to every Romani heart.
Djelem, Djelem, lungo metro menja, malagile, šuka vero menja. Djelem, Djelem, lungo metro menja, malagile, šuka vero menja.
Most cultures define themselves by land, borders, flags, founding myths about specific places. The Romani identity is formed differently. It's defined by the movement itself. They are not rooted to soil, but they are rooted to sound. As a musician and professor at Berklee, I've experienced countless musical traditions. But Romani music, it's like musical fusion on a global scale. Before fusion was not even a thing. You can easily find musical DNA of Romani people across different genres. Flamenco in Spain, that passionate flaming guitar, pure Romani influence. Balkan brass bands, those wild wedding ensembles with trumpets and tubas. Romani musicians dominate this style. Jazz Manouche. Ever heard Django Reinhardt? One of the greatest guitarists of all time was Romani. Hungarian violins, those emotional, virtuosic solos in classical music, is also Romani influenced. Music isn't the only way the Romani people have told their story. To fully understand the depth of Romani influence, we have to look at another powerful art form, cinema. Few films capture the essence of Romani culture, like Emir Kustrica's 1988 masterpiece, Time of the Gypsies. For me, this is one of the greatest films ever made about the Romani experience, a raw, magical, and deeply emotional reflection of their world. I like to share its official tagline because it perfectly captures the spirit of the film. When God came down to earth, he could not deal with the gypsies, so he took the next flight back. Romani life is beauty and chaos, wisdom and madness, laughter and tragedy, and all connected. Another must-watch film is the 1997 French-Romanian film Gadjo Dilo, which translates to The Crazy Stranger, from the Romani director Tony Gatliff. It follows a young French music producer searching for a singer he once heard on a cassette tape. His journey immerses him in Romani life, music, and traditions, showing how deeply music is part of their identity. For anyone who truly wants to experience authentic Romani culture and music, this film is essential. Both of these films blend drama and comedy. It's a life filled with hardship, but always met with humor, with pain, but always answered with a song. Because music, like cinema, is how the Romani people survive. Music has a way of carrying contradictions, joy and sorrow, celebration and grief, survival and loss. And few musical traditions capture these contrasts like Balkan music. The word Balkan has Turkish origins, meaning a chain of wooded mountains. But if we split it into two separate Turkish words, Bal means honey, symbolizing energy, joy, and the well-deserved pride of the Romani people. Kan means blood, reflecting centuries of exile, suffering, and resilience. Maybe that's why when you listen to any Balkan song, even the happiest one, there is always an undertone of grief and nostalgia. I like to make a special anecdote here because I have been fortunate to work with one of the most legendary voices of Romani Balkan music, Esma Redzepova, also known as the Queen of Gypsies. She embodied the duality of the Romani music, a sound that has no home, yet belongs everywhere. And Djelem carries this same duality. It sings of pain but refuses to surrender. It carries the weight of history but marches forward with pride. Žarko Jovanović's lyrics merge with an old Romani folk melody, blending past and present, just like the Romani people themselves. What especially mind-blowing is that Romani music maintained its identity while absorbing influences from every culture it encountered. Persian modes, Ottoman and Byzantine ornaments, European harmonies, creating something entirely unique. It's like they built a portable homeland out of melodies. And these melodies are cultural footprints left by people who couldn't leave monuments or name cities after themselves. Their permanent mark on the world isn't in stone or borders, it's in our ears. The Romani people walk not just to survive, but to sing their survival into history. Djelem is an anthem without a land, but for a people with an infinite musical legacy, melody of persistence, and the lyrics of resilience. See you on the next one. But now, let's walk.